I mean, when they see a police car,
How long did we sit at his house, Joe?
he's probably got more police protection
I
than anybody
guarantee
in
you.
Kennett.
Probably more
There you go,
hours
sir.
spent in Hazelwood than at most
One, that's all you
homicides
want?
put together.
Well, then I had to skip it, I couldn't get it down, I'm sorry.
He complained about Uber down there. That place right there, east of his house. In the grass. Come by to read the stop sign. All right.
We ready for a first read?
We're ready.
First reading, an ordinance rezoning in certain parcels from R1 single family residential to B2 general business in part of section 1, township 18 north, range 9 east in the city of Kennett, Missouri. And this is the hospital, the old hospital property at 1301 First Street.
We do not have a motion. Or do we have a motion?
Now's the time
Do we have a motion
to approve the first reading.
there'll be two readings
So what's the motion for?
to rezone it, to rezone the property?
I make a motion to rezone it.
I second it.
Okay, the motion is to approve the
I
first
make a
reading.
motion to approve the first reading.
Got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, discussion. Any discussion? Then we're gonna have a second vote too. So y'all want to approve this one and move to the second one?
And you're not approving the rezoning, you're just approving the vote. I mean, approving the first reading. Then we vote the rezone.
All right. All right, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Okay, I'll take that
Second
back.
reading. Second reading is an ordinance rezoning a certain parcel from R1, single-family residential to B2 general business, a part of section 1, township 18 north, range 9 east in the city of Kennett.
We have a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
We have a motion to approve the rezoning. We have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Now it's time for discussion. This is to rezone the property from R1 to B2. Yes, ma'am, Mr. Allen.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I've really struggled with this because I would like to approve it, but I'm not going to be able to because I've not seen a demonstration that the developer will be able to do what he has committed to. And I had a good conversation with Mr. Sweeney, who's persuasive. However, I just feel like I haven't seen that this can be delivered, that there's not a single idea for what it will be. I know there are a multitude of possibilities, and I really wish that this had remained tabled until they could come up with a plan that could be deemed viable, or some way to demonstrate that this is a viable concern. And as it is now, I just don't feel comfortable making this change.
Thank you very much. You mentioned something?
My thing is, again, we go back to what we talked about before. If we don't rezone this part of property, we can't rezone the front. So the city's stuck with that bad decision. Then it puts it makes the city look bad if another business wants to come in and buy a piece of property. And you tell this guy he can't do what he wants to after investing all this money in it. If I was coming in and wanting to put in a business after this, I'd leave town, I wouldn't do it. If I had to fight to get what I needed to do it.
Should have checked the zoning before the vote.
Should have what?
Should have checked the zoning before it was purchased.
Well, you would have thought with the hospital there for 75 years it would have been there. That's what I would have thought.
It didn't have to be zone B2 to have hospital.
Well, back in those days, there probably wasn't no zones.
No, there was, it was R1. When zoning's, a hospital is permissive use under R1.
Okay.
When they first did the zoning back in the early 60s, it came in as an R1.
But then everything else that's around it is business, so how does that work?
Just that the ordinance says that a hospital is a permissive use under R1, and that's normally,
What it was?
that's normally what happens in Nelson.
Oh,
The hospitals and churches are normally permissive uses under R1.
Okay.
But, you know, do we not have ordinances to, again, I'm asked this question for a reason, but do we not have ordinances that controls what they do there, or if it grows up and looks bad? Because we got ordinances that will take care of that, right?
Okay, there's two different things.
Yeah.
You don't want to go on with this.
The property maintenance is always going to be, the property maintenance issue is always going to be there.
You can't put nothing in there though if Victor and them don't get it approved for what's going in there, right?
I mean, the whole tract is going to be rezoned. And they can put anything in that tract that is permissive use under B2, which is general business.
But it's still gotta be approved. If you're putting a business in there, the business has gotta be somewhat approved or not. So it's just like down here where Bill's Barbecue used to be, the old fish or the old fish place, all the cars piled around there. Is there no ordinance against that? I mean, they got like a junkyard started there now.
Again, that's the difference between use and property maintenance. Yeah, property maintenance restrictions or under B2, the old fish place, Bill's. That's B2. Any B2 permissive use can go there and can operate. But as far as, say, that building being used for a restaurant, which it's probably not safe to do, that has to be approved by Victor. That it's, that the building's safe, the building the use is under code. But again, that's completely different from the permissive use of a B2. Two different issues.
So if it's rezoned, what does Victor, can he restrict what goes in there?
As long as it's permissive use under B2.
Under B2?
Now, he can, but separate issue altogether is if under our building codes and our property maintenance codes, if it's not a safe building, he still has to approve that, but only as to whether or not it's a safe building or not as to what it's going to be used for. Victor controls what's a safe building, what is approved under our codes and our property maintenance codes as a safe building or up to code building. Past that, they can put anything in there under B2.
But by being that condemned,
Then Victor would have to do something, but this rezoning it wouldn't change.
okay.
You can rezone it, but they still have to put anything in that building because it would still have to come up to code, still have to be approved for public use as a safety issue, as a health issue.
That's kind of why I guess I was trying to ask that question, I didn't make myself clear, so we're worried about what may go in there later. But
Right.
if they don't put nothing in there, if they just quit doing anything, if it grows back up like it was, and trees and everything, the yard not being taken care of or nothing. So really, there's nothing we can do except write ordinance, paper ordinance that we probably can't go enforce. It's just gonna go back up and look worse than it does now. At least they're trying to make something.
The zoning has nothing to do with the maintenance part.
But
You don't have the same issues, R1 or B2,
But everybody just keeps saying it's like what it's gonna look like if we rezone it.
But the problem you're gonna have is if they didn't interrupt you, Bob. The problem you're gonna have is if you don't rezone it and he decides he just don't wanna do anything else with it, it's gonna be a sitting abandoned building again, and the city don't want it, who else is gonna deal with it? It's gonna sit there and grow up, people's gonna keep coming in, I don't know if you've been in there or not. You need to walk up in there. That's a mess, that where those people have gone in and destroyed that building because nobody had watched it. You know, we got in a discussion about the plywood on the windows. It wasn't long ago that we was the one to put plywood on the windows. So we might as well just rezone it and see what he's gonna do with it, then sit there and watch it rot down.
I'm just thinking it looks better now than it did, that's my thing. I mean, what's been done is a big improvement over what it was. And I think everybody's kind of forgetting the way it looked before they started. And I don't think they're gonna put a target in there, I'm the first one to agree that ain't gonna
Yeah,
happen. But
that's not gonna happen.
they've actually got something in their mind to do it, they wouldn't be spending this kind of money, because you don't go spend $100,000 with some, knock out some kind of plan.
I think something in your mind is a lot different than having something on paper and like a blueprints and everything that's gonna be done. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the document the letter we received today from, I guess, the architect, says that the budget would be, I guess, to bring it up to code, is between $4.5 and $6.5 million. Is that correct, Dave? That's a lot of money, you know, to get it up to code. And obviously, I don't think anyone is gonna make an investment in that until it is rezoned. So I do see, you know, that piece of it. But in terms of maintaining the building and keeping the surrounding area, the owner of the building is still responsible for that regardless of the zoning.
Correct.
And there will be ordinances, fines written if it's not loan or taken
What did we
care
do
of.
with, what did we do with the previous owner? Why did it end up the way it did with the previous owner? Because we wasn't enforcing the ordinance evidently, because it was growed up, it was terrible. I mean, it growed up.
But again, the zoning has nothing to do with the appearance of the building or the maintenance or any of
I'm
that.
just saying that, I was after her question though, they're saying that they're responsible for maintaining it, if they just walk off and leave, you find them all you want to. I mean, we got a guy here in Hickory Village that's been trying to do something for 5 years, it ain't been done. So I mean, if they just walk off and leave it, there's no guarantee that you make it can't do it. I know what you're
Well,
saying.
you gotta think that the area that it's in, what's more beneficial for it to be, R1 or B2? Regardless of the owner.
Well, I mean, look at all the way around it. I mean, everything in there. If the city wants to sell the front lot, what should it be? Should it be B2 or B1?
In my opinion, it should be B2, yeah.
I mean, the whole thing should be 9 acres there, that nobody's gonna build a single dwelling house on 9 acres.
If they're gonna come through with their plan or not, it's a different story. What's the lot should be zoned for?
I mean, I haven't seen a demonstration that if it is rezoned to business, that the building actually will be improved or removed from condemnation. There would be nothing, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to keep the owner from building something new in the parking lots or on the side or whatever, and just ignoring that substantial building. And then you've still got that building sitting there with nothing happening to it, and you've got these other things happening, whether it's the food court or whatever, storage units.
In my personal opinion, if you don't rezone it, you're never,
You're gonna have to take a chance
yeah.
at some point, with, regardless who the owner is or what the plan is or what you see on paper.
Well, that was what my hope was, to keep it tabled until we saw actual plans.
I'd
you
really
know.
take the chance, rezone it, and let them do what they're gonna do or not, and then we sit there and watch it just rot down and nothing happens to it.
I agree. I feel the same way.
And that's what we're gonna be.
I think everybody feels the
And
same.
if we rezone
Room,
it,
I mean,
they're gonna buy the front part. You know, they're interested in the front part. How do you know that?
He said he would.
He said he would buy it if we rezone it.
We've asked to see what developments he has done previously, and I don't know if anyone else has received it, but I've not received any documents, any links to any of his developments, or anything to see what kind of properties he has developed. And we've asked for that. I was told I would get it, and it didn't happen. So that's what raises my doubts.
Okay. Anything else?
All I can say is since Mr. Sweeney's crew's been out there, it's looked better. I mean, proof
Lot
is
better
in
than
the
it did
pudding
before.
somewhere. Or,
It's not up to code, but it's a lot better than
But it's a
what
lot
it was
better.
before.
You know, I noticed now they painted their plywood and stuff on the windows to make it look better. So I think that was mentioned here, one of the council meeting, something about that, it looked better if that was done, and I noticed they started painting them, so I mean,
And it has helped the appearance, so it looks better. But it's a long way from good to go.
and they don't even deny that. They know they look good.
But before it comes, it's up to code, they can't do anything with it.
That's right.
All right, so, notice there's a different opinion. I think we're pretty much repeating what we're, so before we vote, I do want to bring a little background to this subject. Planning and zoning, we have members, couple members here. Their recommendation was not to approve. A little history of that, and correct me if I'm wrong, stop me somewhere. But they had a couple offers to resurvey the property and rezone the land around the building. I look at you, Matt, just.
Right, that's the meeting I was not able to attend.
Okay,
so.
so there was one on
That's
the,
COVID.
one option available, and that option was not executed, so that's why the vote was brought to here. Terry, correct me if I'm wrong, but the property can go from R1 to B2, anything in between there can take place on that property, up to B2's business type. So this will be a roll call vote. There will have to be 7 votes in favor of the rezoning for it to pass, since it is a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Board not to approve this. It will take 7 votes. And then Ms. McGrath will lead the roll call vote with its full names. We have a motion and a second.
Lisa Dry,
No.
Randy Carter,
Present.
yes or no? Oh, present? Oh, you just voted present, okay. Mr. Bryant,
no.
Mr. Wayne,
Yes.
Mr. Gaddis.
Yes.
Mr. Swain,
Yes.
Mr. Phelps,
I'm gonna have to go with the zoning committee recommendation.
Mr. Penosis.
Yes.
Mr. French is absent, Mr. Young.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses.
So that rezoning does not pass. Okay. Anything else here for the council? Meeting adjourned.